areas that you can look at.
Did they
people
try
like
to just
Sheryl
remove
Sandberg,
me?
who
Did they try to stop me from living? I know that ain't just happened. I know they ain't just try to stop me from living, ladies and gentlemen. We back though. We's back. Let me ask y'all a question. Am I supposed to feel less than or less empowered because I'm a married man versus a man that's single that can go and sleep with a bunch of other women? Just curious. Like, at what point do you stop making excuses for whatever your lot is in life and just start to live based off of your purpose? Is a lion pissed off, and I'd love to hear what lions talk about, is a lion pissed off that they're not a tiger? Is a monkey pissed off that it's not a whale? Is a baboon pissed off that it's not a hyena? Or should we have equity and inclusion inside of the jungle? The very nature of who we are is to embrace our differences, because that's the thing that makes you unique. Why do we all have to be in the same space at the same time? I would never want or even remotely want to fathom what a woman goes through as far as the things that they're stronger than men in. Why would a man ever want to experience childbirth? Why would a man ever want to be emotional and be more nurturing like women are? Why would a man ever want to breastfeed? Like, I'm happy with my lot in life, and I'm going to embrace it. I love being a black man. I love having a beard. I like having a bald head. There's some guys that have hair on their head. Cool. Listen. Stop trying to re-engineer what it is that you already are and start to be embracing of the advantages, because women have advantages over men too, of the advantages that God gave you. I just don't understand why this is so difficult for people and why we got to re-engineer words. Now you can identify, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You can go in whatever bathroom you want to go in, so on and so forth. This is absolutely insane.
We want special.
And think about it. Who's saying this right now is somebody that later on in the show, based off of what I scrubbed, identified as a biological man. A biological man is sitting here arguing with a woman, arguing with Pearl, arguing with a woman about feminism and how it needs to benefit women more effectively. That would be like you as a woman arguing with me as a man about what it is that I believe or what it is that I'm going through as a man. You've never been a man. You didn't grow up as a man. You don't know what it feels like to have a big cock. You don't know this life. Listen, it's men out here that don't even know what it feels like to have a big cock. It's other men that can't even relate to my greatness. Similarly, I don't know what it feels like to be 6'5". I never will. And I'm cool with that. I'll just take my third leg and I'm good. It's other men that don't even know what it feels like to be this level of a man. How you gonna tell me as a woman what it takes to be a man and vice versa? I'm just saying. Hey, listen, it's 2023. We taking the gloves off. We're going to go all the way in today. Shout out to HG. HG says, have you heard of a new change in YouTube rules? What is the new change, HG? There's been a lot of changes. Persevere Data TV says, Pearl nailed it. When I worked in the factory, us men had the dirtiest machines, hottest ovens, and most dangerous roles. And similar to what it is that I experienced when I was working in the steel mill. Men always got the most dangerous roles and the hardest jobs inside of these environments. You're going to see why she's laughing shortly.
I'm a woman with a
No pun intended with the shortly part.
disability, so there's a lot stopping me that you don't have to think about.
Well, as I
You don't
said
have to
before, I'm
think about.
speaking about women.
So she's in a wheelchair, and that's what she's talking about. So then Pearl had to differentiate it. It's almost like, yo, why do I have to continue to separate what it is that I'm talking about? I can see that you're in a wheelchair. Obviously, I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about the majority, not the minority. If you don't have legs, then that's a completely different conversation. That has nothing to do with feminism. That has to do with making sure that we got enough wheelchair ramps for disabilities, making sure that this building is accessible, whatever, so on and so forth. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about when it comes to feminism. And then she want to say, well, feminism with a disability, and feminism with a disability, and you're a black woman. There's a couple different black women on the panel, right? It's not all women on the panel. Q. It's not all women. Some of them are different. Some of them are different. We just gonna say different, right? And I'm looking at the two black women on the panel, right? Here's the thing. I'm gonna be reading the super chats throughout the show. Here's the thing that I'm noticing on this panel, right? First thing I notice, both of the black women are overweight. I'm not gonna use the F word. They overweight. So now, is that part of feminism that we need to accept your heaviness too? Because that is something that you do have control over, that you can change, and you can determine whether or not you want to continue to be heavy. You got to pick a struggle. You know, me and Rita was riding, we was riding on the way home from the airport this morning, right? We were riding on the way. I'm gonna tell you the real conversation that we were having on the airport, right away from the airport. It took put the two black women back to back, probably a good 472 pounds right there on the panel. It's a good 472 between the two black women right there, right? I'm not really good at math, but I'm gonna assume that each one is about 236 pounds apiece. All right, my mental math, it works sometimes. Okay, here's the thing. I was talking and we was listening to a gospel recording artist. I like to listen to gospel music sometimes. And I was like, hey, did he pass away? And Rita was like, yeah, he passed away. And I was like, man, that guy was always fat. Like he was always really, really big, right? Like really, really big. Oh, is that another? Oh yeah, you're right. It's three black women. I don't know if the other one is black, but I'm going to deep dive into it. I'm going to read the super chats in a minute. I said, yeah, he was always big. And then Rita said he was only like 5'2". And then we looked at it, it was like 5'2". And the dude was like 400 plus pounds his whole life. And I was like, yo, you got to pick a struggle. You can't be 5'5'2" as a man and be 400 pounds. That is the ability to restrict what you put in your mouth is something that you can master. You don't need surgery. You don't need all of that. You can't be 5'2" and 400 pounds. You can't be two women back to back weighing 472 pounds, 236 pounds on average apiece. You can't do it. You have to pick a struggle.
You're speaking as
about men historically that a lot of people don't like to talk about or acknowledge. One of the things about men is that we built the world for you to be able to thrive in. But the interesting thing about it is we've come from an environment in which you can only eat what you kill. And so when you talk about fairness, what's fair about how many men died to civilize the world and how many men had to suffer in order to get to the spaces that we in today? Because how can you just come on the backs of our ancestors of yesteryear, men specifically, that have grinded, hustled, worked, died, lived, and made the sacrifice in order for you to be able to even have this conversation in the first place? And then the first thing you start to say is inclusion. You know what this remind me of? This remind me of Lil Romeo and Master P. It's like, little homie, if I wasn't your father, wouldn't even nobody know you. You would be but a vapor. You was just the lucky one to swim up my ball sacks. You know what I'm saying? And then you want to sit here and talking about what you owed and what you deserve. You ain't never actually did a hard day's work in your life. You ain't never hustled. You ain't never sold dope. You ain't never sold crack. You ain't sold a CD out of your car. You was a Nickelodeon kid taken care of your entire life learned the game and never actually broke off and did your thing in order for you to really be able to be successful, then you had a front row seat and you were able to leapfrog into whatever it is that you wanted to do with the cosign. Everything that you have is because of me, and now you want to sit here and kill my name and then have a conversation about me with people that ain't even me on the internet? Boy, if you don't get your... Shout out to Sir Shad says, the attractive feminists in the front row are due to a result that missed the rich guy that wouldn't put up with their mouth. Now they want revenge. HG says, there's a change in policy for how you can get demonetized. Also thinking about why feminism is called feminism and not equity, and that's the goal. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. Dalen says, whenever the topic of feminism and or misogyny comes up, the feminists are quick to bring up the Andrew Tates of the world, but are silent about the misogynistic behavior coming from the Zesties and Transformers. Shout out to Dalen. Charles Reinhardt says, Kirby, Andy Reid, and Me Too had it in for Pearl on this panel. Yourself, just throw the race card in, y'all. Whenever we want to save ourselves, let's just go ahead and throw the race card on up in there, and then it's just going to go south from there. Shout out to my dog, lead attorney. Shout out to the lead. Hey, Lead was cooking up this weekend. Lead was on a Soulscast. He was rocking out on Just Pearly Things. Lead. I love the Lead. I'm about to get Lead in person for y'all. I'm about to get Lead in person. I'm about to reach out to Lead. Hey, Lead, do you know Lead? Let me take a pause because Lead has to know what's going on in our lives. Lead, do you know that Tony the Closer been sending me messages asking me to pull up on him in Miami? I'm reading super chat shortly, family. Do you know that Tony the Closer is sending me messages asking me to pull up on him in Miami? Lead. A grown man, 35 plus. I'm out there with the wife, the kid, doing what I do. And Tony the Closer is over here asking me to pull up on him in Miami. I said, what in the devil is going on here, and why is this man not making smarter decisions? I don't understand. Oh my gosh, what is going on in this place? I don't Tony the Closer. God bless the Neanderthals. Oh my Jesus. Let me get back to this show. Understand. When I'm listening to these panels, or when I'm listening to women in a general sense, give their sentiment about what it is that they believe about feminism or whatever, so on and so forth. It reminds me of when I post a video, or when I do a live stream, or where I do a panel, when I'm having conversations with people about women or whatever, right? And then the people will say, why is it always men against women, or all of this other type of stuff? And this is why. Is because you've made it this way. You've made it to where it then becomes a versus, and then you pit men against women by your views, how it is that you advocate against family court laws, but you advocate for equal pay, equal rights, even though you don't put in the type of time that men put in. And let's be clear, there are women that are thriving, there are women that are incredibly successful. Women have a leg up on men in a general sense. No man can just in general go and start an OnlyFans and then just be winning as though the bad baby chick that absolutely positively has no talent whatsoever showed up on Dr. Phil, trolled her way to the top, which is cool. Listen, get your money, shake your poom poom. If you are of age on OnlyFans, do whatever it is that you want to do. No man sits here and complains about that and say, hey, we need to have equal equity, whatever word that y'all want to use as a result of how it is that we're represented on OnlyFans. They don't. They just make the adjustment and they continue to do what it is that they do, because we understand that what makes a woman unique is completely different from what makes a man unique. That's just the way that it is. It's just natural. You are who you are. You move how you move. You do what you do. And then we make adjustments accordingly. No man is ever whining and complaining and saying, hey, how come you didn't throw her in the pit in order to be able to do the hardest job on a steel mill? How come I got to diffuse the situation and I got to be at the forefront of kicking in the door every time that there's a raid and I'm a police officer and we both on a SWAT team? Because she's not able-bodied and strong enough in order to kick in the door. Look at this lady. Look at this lady on the panel right now. Honestly, let's just look at this. Let's really slice and dice this up and really try to understand exactly what's being communicated. Because the gender war never started with men. The only reason that there's a war in the first place is because women are advocating for more and advocating against the thing that would actually make it equal. There's way more men in prison, way more men on child support. By default, I was just having a conversation and the lead attorney actually filled me in on this. And I was looking at a video that he was doing with Pearl on Soulscast. Women receive the children and custody of the children 90% versus 10% of the time. And who knows, it might even be more than 90% of the time. Is that equal? Is that equity? Is that across the board? Do you see anybody advocating for updating the family court laws when women weaponize the children against men? By default, if a woman puts her hands on me versus if I was to put my hands on a woman, what do you think would happen? I'm just curious. But now that guys have finally said, you know what, I had enough, I don't want to continue to participate going down this path, so on and so forth, now it becomes a war. It wasn't a war. It was never a war. You made it this way. You decided to go down this path. You wanted to. And now when guys said, okay, well then now we gonna show up. We gonna dunk on your head like LeBron James. Now it's a problem. It says men are not trying to is this word salad? Because listen, I'm a C student. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I'm trying to understand. She says men are not trying to re-embody what they built for us. Let me translate that in a C student's perspective. We built this whole platform for you to even be able to stand here with us in the first place, and now you want to take it over and kick us off of it. And unless we adjust to what you think makes the most sense for us, then that's going to be a problem. So we built the platform. We laid the foundation. We dug up in the hole. Some of us died getting into the hole, right? We laid the foundation. We poured the cement. We put up the studs. We protected you against the elements, right? We laid the drywall. We put in all of the padding and all of the insulation and things like that. We made sure we met code. We gave you all of the luxuries. You got the best tubs and the greatest kitchen, and you got a chef stove, and you got the king bedroom, and you got a mud room and a lake in the backyard. And we even put you a pool to overlook the lake. And then you said to me, well, if you want to come into this house and enjoy this thing that you built for me, then you better make sure you take your fucking shoes off. That's what it means. What she said, that's what it translates into. You've built this whole thing, but if you want to come into this house that you built for me that I own now, because just because I was with you, I'm entitled to it, then you better take your shoes off and abide by the rules that I set in here. And you get the little piece of chicken. That's what it translates into. That's what she's communicating to you as a man. You build it, I take it over, and then you shut the hell up until I need you to come and fix something in it. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Is it me or is this a biological male based off of the voice, the aggression, and the level of communication and all the other intangibles that's going on? Hold on. Let me read some of these super chats, yo. Because I don't want to forget y'all. King Buddha says they are full of shh. Shout out to King Buddha's in the building. Cliff Williams with the 20 ball over there in Canada says more gawk, less talk. I'm with that. I like that. More gawk, less talk. All right. Persevere Data TV said this is Sesame Street. Everybody has to be warm and cozy and included in the first place, all at the same time. Shout out to Persevere Data TV holding me down. Jose Amador says, what's good, big dog? Happy New Year. We doing big things this year. Big things, big dog. Dylan says, by the way, that Transformer got caught trying to give kids prescription hormones to young ones on IG. Really? You're going to have to send me that article, Dylan. So I'm not sure why they were allowed on the panel. You know, it's all entertainment. Daryl Thompson says, my takeaway from the feminists on this panel, any adversity a woman experiences in her life is a barrier men are collectively responsible for. It's only the bad, not the good. You are good. You are absolutely right and good catch, big dog. But that's largely the talking point for a lot of women, right? Island Girl Q says, I can with these men's on the panel. Shout out to Island Girl Q. We flew out at around the same time. My girl, me and Q had a crazy conversation last night. And afterwards, after we had been talking on the couch for like 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, damn, we should have set up the camera. That was some shit right there. And Q was like, yeah, I know. That was crazy, wasn't it? Me, Q, Rita, we was all talking. That junk was absolutely a phenomenal conversation. Shout out to Centennial G. Says, oh my God, now Chucky has literally become the first plus side good girl doll. Y'all are nuts with these super chats. Victoria, shout out to Victoria. Victoria Camus says, I think Western is USA and some parts of EMEA. Not all, but to keep it real, my dad is going back to Kenya to find my daughter, brother, or wife. LOL. Really? I wonder what the Kenyan women are like. Victoria, tell me what the Kenyan women are like. Let me hear you, sir. I don't know how they identify. They didn't say their pronouns, so I can't specifically say their pronouns. There's not a name up there. So all I can go by is my context clues. So let's hear what this person has to say. Coming back, I'm going to be reading super chat shortly. Say this like it's a bad thing. Wait a minute. I thought you wanted the slut walk. I thought you wanted the equal women movement, all of this other type of stuff. I thought you wanted sexual liberation. Which one is it? Do you want sexual liberation or you want the responsibility that comes along with what happens after you sexually liberated and they ski all up in your drawers, man? Which one is it? You can't be sexually liberated and say, well, I want to mutilate babies on the other side of the spectrum. I'm not even a heavy person that advocates for or against the whole abortion laws or any of that stuff in the first place. However, I believe in taking responsibility for your choices and your actions. That's all I'm saying. Why should you be able to listen? I can't go into a job, say, you know what? I want to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. I'm going to mess up this account. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But I should also have the right to be able to do what I want to do with the paperwork that you hand me in this pink slip that's saying, get the fuck out of my office. No, you don't get a choice. You get fired, right? And every single thing in life outside of women's feminism movements, there's consequences to the actions. The only thing in the world that I can think of right now that there is no consequence to your actions. You rob a bank, you get caught, you go to jail. You slap a hoe, then you go to jail. You step on somebody's foot, you might get knocked the fuck out. You make a video about Tony the Closer, he might be all up in your DMs talking about pull up while you're in Miami. Every single thing, there's an if-then statement. There's a reaction to the action. The only thing in life that I can think of at this present moment that there is not a real consequence that come along with your action is the sexual liberation of women and the feminism movement. Because there will always be a safety net and there will always be people that advocate not for doing things the right way in the first place, but to figure out how it is that we can solve for making ourselves feel better about our choices, not necessarily actually getting to the root of the problem and fixing it, but feeling better about our choices so that we can do what the fuck we want to do, no matter whose expense it's at, whether it's the babies, the kids, the men, the society, the political system, who it is that we have. No matter what, it's the only thing in life that there is not an equal and opposite reaction to whatever it is that you do. The only thing that I can think of. That's it. That's it. Yo, I can't go outside and look at a dude funny. He gonna be like, what, we got smoke? Is something on your mind, big dog? You can't look the wrong way, but a chick can sit there, take the whole load on both ends at the same time from two different guys and don't even know who the baby daddy is. Don't even know who the baby daddy is. And don't even have to be responsible for her actions on the other side of the fence. Have y'all really thought about this? Did y'all get y'all Alpha Juice Company yet? Did y'all? Code Anton for the discount code. The link is in the description. Did y'all join the Patreon yet so we can have these real conversations and talk about money? I'm just curious. What else in life? Give me one thing that you can think of in life that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do and don't have to pay consequences that come along with it. That's not even human nature. That's not even how God made us. I can't think of anything. Let me get to some of these super chats while y'all thinking about it. Shout out to my dog Cliff says, are rich women getting abortions? Right. Exactly. Compton Mania, I like that name. Compton Mania says, can't build with these kind of people. No, can't build with these kind of women. Let's be specific here. Dylan says, Anton, you would have transformed to be a part of this panel. Yo, if y'all know any Transformers in Detroit, I don't know any personally. If y'all know any Transformers in Detroit, have them hit me up because I want to bring them into the studio and have a conversation with them because I'm just curious. And I'm going to give them some Alpha Juice Company. I'm going to give them my special sponsored drink that I've used to help, lose 15 pounds, and it tastes absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to have a conversation with them, and I'm going to give them some Alpha Juice Company. Make sure y'all hit that Anton discount code. Link is in the description, all right? We get to a couple more of these super chat spaces. Says, is it me or is it funny how some femmies advocate for empowering women, but also advocate for the deletion of other women via abortion? Hashtag fumbling life. Facts. Why is it that all of us here is logical and nobody that's on this panel outside of Pearl and a couple other people is logical? Chat Ninja says, why the wheelchair and transformer was the loudest about being promiscuous? Like the one, yo, I know some dudes that will beat that wheelchair down. I know some dudes that will get in that wheelchair. Listen, dudes, one thing we will say about men, I'm an equal accountability partner. They will turn that wheelchair inside out, boy. Yeah. L.A. Wilkes, the thin black line says, come on now. Who's getting legs over there knocked up? She needs to stop. Listen, I know some people that'll beat that up. Shout out to Omar Smith says they had them on there telling the women about women's issues, shaking my head, or did I hear you wrong? No, you didn't hear me wrong, Omar. That is really what's going on out here in these streets. Real talk. That is what's going on in these streets. Let's continue.
It almost sounds like you said.
Can I also ask,
thank y'all for the super chats.
Read
Read them throughout the show.
Empower women, or is disempowering women
Need to be right. Okay. Why is it empowering?
She hit him with the Kevin Samuels special. She said, shame, insults, guilt need to be right. Ooh, I see you, Pearl. Pearl hit him with the reverse Uno card. Shame, guilt, insults, and a need to be right. Okay, I see you.
To sleep around.
on getting raped, incest?
All right. You know, I can't because it just shows the de-evolution of human beings. I never thought that I'd live in an era where we just going backwards. Never thought I'd live in an era where we just going backwards. This is absolutely insane. This is insane. What are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen? What are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen? Let me read some of y'all super chats and see what y'all got to say out here. What do y'all think about this panel? What do y'all think about everything that was communicated today? Huh? I wasn't even supposed to live stream. Tony the Closer incentivized me to live stream today. Shout out to Tony the Closer. Centennial G says, Minister Farrakhan wants us to go to heaven over Crazy Legs, Blanca and Chucky, Pearly and the Carmelisian chick, and Amy holding it down, though. Shout out to Centennial G. I love that cover photo, bro. Compton Mania says, BS, no accountability. Facts. Brock says, Anton got jungle fever. He's got jungle fever. I sure do. I like white women. I like all women. I'm like Lil Wayne. I wish I can like love every woman in the world. Cliff Williams says, this is absolutely disgusting. They'd rather take a life than to take a pill or use a rubber. Or let me add one more thing in there, Cliff. Or close their legs and exercise pussy discipline. That's a word that y'all ain't never heard before. Pussy discipline. Cliff Williams says, does incest equate to rape? I don't think sister, mom, or Uncle Daddy think so. Shout out to y'all. Y'all holding me down today. Yo, first stream of the year. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty in which we had to start another stream over. However, I'm very, very thankful and glad that you guys joined me for this journey that we're taking today. I love you. I appreciate you. We are back in the mix. Live streaming Monday through Friday. Making sure that we drinking our Alpha Juice Company. Using a discount code Anton. That link is in the description. Making sure that you tapping into to your Teej Hanley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift if you're not a part of Teej Hanley. Making sure you get your Patreon on. The best day to join the Patreon is in the beginning of the month. Don't do that this year. Don't fuck up the bag this year. Make sure that you tap in and you do the thing that you're supposed to do. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm about to get these videos scheduled and then I'm about to go straight to the gym. Just jumped off the plane and I said, you know what? Let me jump on this live stream and execute and do what it is that we do. Make sure you hear every morning, Millionaire Morning Show, the Anton Daniels channel. Subscribe to Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom. All of that is on the channel. And then the Lapeef Network. We're going to do what we do, baby. I love you. I appreciate you. I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, though. Yeah. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. Thank you to all of the super chats, everybody that continues to hold me down. I love you. I appreciate you. We are going to make this year the best year of our entire lives. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I got to go. Got to get to the gym. Health is wealth, baby. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Let's get it. Peace. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get my girl Q. Let me see what Q talking about over there. Q says, amen. First stream of the year. Keep grinding, Anton. Make sure y'all tap in a Q&A on next. What are we doing? Wednesday? Wednesday. We should have did a Q&A last night with that conversation that we was having on the couch. It was crazy. Make sure y'all show Q some love and subscribe to Island Girl Q's channel. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later.